Hi everybody, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Mary Hall Scott. I'm an independent artist. I own Permanent Makeup Designs. I teach out of an academy, Permanent Makeup Designs Academy, and I own Micro PMU Tattoo Supply. So what this quick video is about is migration with carbon inks when doing eyeliners. So what I want you guys to think about is in the past with the traditional PMU pens, they were a very small cam compared to what we're using today. They were generally about a 1.8. So they didn't have a lot of strength to them. And then we would just hit a button that says eyes, it would set the speed for us and we would tattoo. So we all know that carbon is a very small molecule and it can migrate more easily. That's no secret, right? So we also know that when we're doing eyeliners, if we go into places that we're not supposed to, we're going to be at higher risk for migration, like the very inner corners of the eyes. We cannot connect the corners. We know that we can't tattoo the wet line. We know that we can't go near any tear ducts, things like that. So number one, if you're tattooing responsibly, you're going to take out some of that risk of migration automatically. But here's the deal, you guys. The machines that we're using now, I'm going to start calling the Bellara 2.1 cam because that's what it says that it is in the manual. So this is a little bit stronger probably than what you were using if you were using a traditional PMU pen. That's why the Bellar and the Zion S make an incredible amount of sense transitioning to these new rotary machines, because with your Zion, you have your 1.8 cam and then you have your 2.5 cam. So again, it's very similar, plus a little bit of extra strength than what we had before. Then you can go ahead and use your give adjustment and get even more strength. So it's ideal to do brows, lips, areolas, things like that, right? This is an excellent pen to transition into a rotary with and give you a little bit more strength. Now we have the Valhalla, which goes all the way up to a 4.2 cam. We've got the Rook, which I actually forgot at my office, but that has a 3.5 cam. So once you guys start getting up into those higher cams, you know, you're going above the 2.5, you're going to a 3.2, a 3.4, 4.2, you've got to remember you're hitting that eyelid with a lot more strength than what you were hitting it with when you used a traditional PMU pen. Okay, so a couple things, you guys. Don't have your voltage set super high and don't use a lot of pressure. When you're using a carbon ink and you're using these machines with higher cams, you really just need to skim across the surface. You can always turn your voltage up. So start with it a little bit lower, maybe 5.5, 6, something like that. But be very, very light-handed. You know, you just need to dust across the top of that skin. Here's my cat in all of my videos. But just be very, very light-handed. Make sure when you're tattooing with carbons, you're like at a 90-degree angle. The last thing you want to do is take that pen and shoot your needle towards the upper eyelid, okay? Or towards the inner eyelid. You definitely don't want to do that, or towards the corner, okay? Again, carbons are small molecules. You're working with a much stronger machine. So start out with your voltage a little bit lower, you guys, and keep your pen at a 90-degree angle and just layer that pigment in there, okay? I call it like a dusting or something. Just layer it in there. Do not use a lot of pressure. So if you're buying the Zion, the Valhalla, the Rook, and you're going into a new machine, take those tips and be very careful. Practice a lot, you guys, on practice materials. You hear me say that all the time. I mean, I've got tons of practice sheets over here. I can't even reach them, but like, you know, of stacks and stacks of practice sheets. So make sure that when you get these machines with these larger cams, you're practicing on your practice material. And what I'd like you to do is take the old machine that you're doing, do your normal technique with that, and then take these more powerful ones and make sure that you can get the same look so that you have your retention, okay? But I promise you, be careful with your voltage and you're gonna start out really, really light, more light-handed than you probably ever did before. All right, I hope that helps. Thanks. Bye.